Shout out to Hyperfly. They listened to all our complaints, all our whining about their collab with Playboy, and they actually just put out this statement. So huge shout out to Hyperfly. I really respect you guys listening to the community. Some brands don't do that. They don't listen. They do whatever they want to do. But I think that's great. That they're listening to their community. In this case, we had some people that were for this collaboration. I had some friends that were for it, and then you had a lot of people that were against it. We'll read some of the comments on the side there. I think you guys can see that, right? But I just wanted to shout them out. I actually like Hyperfly. My friend Jared, Big Jared Dopp, was sponsored by those guys, and they sponsor a lot of great athletes. Anna Rodriguez. They have Adele Fornerino. I think Izaki's on there. If you guys know anybody else that's on Hyperfly, let me know. Jared was on there. Hyperfly. You forgot about my man Jared Hyperfly. He retired though, kinda. Let's read it, guys. It says, "We hear you. We want to extend our deepest apologies to anyone who feels disappointed or let down by this collaboration. We humbly respect the concerns being voiced and want you to know that this is a partnership, or that this partnership was not entered into lightly." Alrighty. It says, "We are aware of Playboy's past, though today Playboy is a brand led and shaped by mostly women, working to rewrite its own narrative, and that evolution is what drew us to the conversation." Well, we didn't know that. We didn't have all the information. I did not know that, so thanks for sharing, Hyperfly. However, we understand that for many, this certainly doesn't change the impact and how it may make you feel, and for that we sincerely apologize. You are our priority. That's great, man. I love seeing. I don't like, this can be toxic. I'm hoping this is a positive situation where the majority, the mass of people kind of push back against a brand. And I can see where this can be taken too far or be misused, but I think this was a good time. This was a good one, hopefully. It says, "Because we value this community and everything it stands for, we've decided to pause this collaboration for now and take time to reflect on the criticisms we've received. We're listening and we're learning. Our intention has always been to uplift women's voices, and women's safety, not harm, and we are committed to doing better. Thank you for holding us accountable. We don't take your voices lightly. Our community is what makes Hyperfly. Without it, we are just another brand." So that's great, guys. I'm glad that they did that. And they're saying that Playboy is trying to kind of reshape their history. I don't know. That's not my field. I would like to see them partner with maybe a better brand. Is there a better brand out there, guys, that Hyperfly could collab with? I'm not the biggest brand person. I'm not the biggest fashion person. But if you guys know any better brands, yeah, please let us know so we can put them in contact with Hyperfly. And then, man, that would be really great. If you guys know any of those brands out there or organizations. So please share. I think we're on YouTube. YouTube, you guys are there? Let me check real fast, guys. We've got a new stream going on, streaming 8 different places. I think we are live though. Let me see. I can't see anything, man. So let's read some of the comments. It says, "Proud to represent a company that listens and acts." Wow. This is from Pretty Good. Another person says, "Mighty Mouse competed with an OnlyFans logo on his gi at IBJJF. I'm sure you guys are fine." I didn't notice that. OnlyFans didn't start off what it is today. It started off as a way for celebrities and influencers to connect with their fans, and it morphed into something different. And Playboy started off as something different, and it seems like they're trying to morph into something better. Hopefully, only time can tell. I will say that OnlyFans does not have the best brand image you know, for most people. For most people, you say OnlyFans, I'm thinking OnlyFans girls or OnlyFans models, OnlyFans, performers. Even then, I would say the same thing. If it was OnlyFans instead of Playboy, I would have made the same video, guys. I would have gotten the same hate from online people, from online trolls, as much as I'm getting now. So, yeah, I would have done the same thing. It says, "What's the problem with Playboy?" So sometimes we get trolls in here, guys. We get some trolls that just want to see the world burn. It says, "If my mother was on Playboy in the past, she would be rich like lots of celebs." Yo, you would have been. I don't know if you would have grown up the same, bro. It says, "No, I wasn't kidding. Never read into the history of Playboy and what they do. Thanks for informing me, though. Makes sense why people spoke out." Well, I don't know how you never heard of Playboy, but it's a different time period now. He said it would have been her choice, female power. That is true. It would have been her choice. But I assure you, she was not wearing the Playboy. She would not have been wearing Playboy everywhere, right? She would have kept that professional, and in her regular day life, she probably would have kept that separate. But I'm not trying to offend anybody. Before people in the comments start attacking me, I get attacked a lot. Let's see. Never apologize to the mob. Make your moves. Let the haters hate. That is cool, but when you're a brand and you say you represent something, and then you do something that's kind of opposite, people will let you know, either online through these messages, through the outcry. They might start, pulling back on, buying your gear, your product. So, especially now with the economy the way it is, you can't afford to alienate your customers, your clients, your community. So I'm not saying you're not going to have mishaps. We all have mishaps, but you got to be able to pivot. You got to be able to pivot. Someone says, never apologizing or taking time to reflect on our choices is something small, weak people do. That's true. Someone says, you can still sew a Playboy bunny patch on your gi and run all your classes. That way, all your members know where you stand. Make your moves. Another person says, I don't condone Playboy, and I'm against the, the industry. I think it contributes to social decay. What I don't like is bullying a company because they don't agree. So what? Don't agree? They have freedom and they are exercising it. It's sad that they cave to pressure. It's soft. Someone says, what mob? Their followers? The people who support their business? What are you talking about? It's not about right or wrong. It's about listening to how our choices impact others and responding with empathy. Nobody is forcing anyone to do anything. Hyperfly is just choosing to change their behavior based on feedback from their clientele. It takes strength, courage, and humility to listen to our community, bulldozing ahead with no regards for the people who support you is weak. Kindness is not equal to weakness. Someone says, I love the collab. Send me one. So we don't know who's trolling, who's real out here, guys. So that's why I don't get too angry or upset, because I'm usually like, I don't know if this is a real person I'm arguing with. I might be arguing with a bot. I'm arguing with ChatGPT. Yeah, who am I arguing with? Yeah, who am I arguing with? I don't know. I'm not gonna waste my time arguing. But I do listen to feedback. I'm not always responding to all the feedback, because sometimes I get some negative stuff. But I do, I'll read what's going on. Someone says, for the love of God, being offended by absolutely everything. Kind of skipped one. Someone says, they were only in women's sizes, but they paused it. When they continue, you will continue only rolling with men. Please stay away from women. I don't know what that meant. Someone says, be quiet. I agree with people being offended by everything recently. However, a sport like jiu-jitsu, where you have essentially free reign over other people's bodies, putting people's bodies into compromised positions, and the inherently intimate physical connection required, collabs and products specifically targeting, uh, I don't know what to say for that, targeting natural urges, have no place within the sport or culture and should be actively shunned. I personally thought this collab was in extremely poor taste with that in mind. Oh yeah. Is there a way for me to move that? Oh, I hope I can see everything. Yeah, that's what they're saying. I'm just reading, guys. Don't attack me. This was a thoughtful this is as thoughtful a reply as you could ask for. They did some good some management here. They did some good work here. But when people promote things about but when people I can't talk, guys. Spirit of Justice, what's going on, bro? Says didn't know Playboy was still a thing. I didn't know either. I didn't know this was a thing either. But we still remember. We still remember. And apparently Hyperfly says that they are trying to change their brand image. Sometimes you gotta. I understand the Playboy has a brand name. People know what it is. Sometimes you gotta start your own. You gotta restart everything. Start from square one. Rebuild. And sometimes we can put these old brands away. It's okay to get rid of them. But yeah. Let's see. But when people promote things about protecting our kids from trafficking or schools, they are quiet or bashing. I don't understand. This is just people wanting to feel important. They don't as much as they're leading on. I don't know what that means. Quiet or bashing. Oh, bashing. Maybe an OF logo would be acceptable. If you're Craig Jones, you can do that. But eventually that gets old, right? You think Craig Jones will still be wearing the OnlyFans when he's, late 30s, 40s, 50s? I think at that point he's going to be, matured enough to put that stuff away, and hopefully he's still alive. I hope. Fingers crossed for Craig Jones. He's been burning the candle on both ends, but someone else says, I was thinking exactly the same. Craig Jones literally released that whole range. Where was the activities then? Well, we don't expect Craig Jones to be, morally upright or socially aware. I mean, he actually is. You see, they do a lot in, underprivileged areas and other underprivileged countries. But you don't expect that from Craig Jones. It's cool when you see him do cool stuff like that. Giving back to the communities. That's cool. We don't expect it. But with Hyperfly, they were, promoting women's voices, their teaching, their training, and to come back with the Playboy, there was kind of a disconnect to me. So if you guys are just joining, I was asking if you guys know any brands that Playboy could collab with that would be, more uplifting than the past Playboy. I'm not sure about the new Playboy. I don't know. I didn't know they were still around, but if you guys know any better brands that are doing some good stuff in the communities out here, please let us know, and then maybe they can work with Hyperfly instead. I'd rather see a company like that, maybe a smaller company or something else than Playboy. Sorry, Playboy. Let's see. I'll still take one of them for free. Someone says, men in the comments acting like something was taking away from them when the collab was only in women's sizes anyway. But I mean, we're all in one community. Women do have a voice. But maybe they didn't feel comfortable speaking out loud about this topic. I made a video about this I think yesterday. And today, look what happened. I'm not taking all the credit for this, obviously. I want to. But I think the more voices, male or female or whatever gender there's out there, I think the more voices that speak up, the more power it gives us. Before I offend somebody, somebody's attacking me. Let's see. Could Craig Jones could have done this without any issues? Yeah, but is Craig Jones pushing for, uplifting women and women's voices and their safety? No, that's not what he's doing. That's not what he's doing. Um, I mean, honestly, nobody. Craig does whatever he wants, right? I don't know if that's good or bad, but he does whatever he wants. Maybe he needs somebody to rein him in as well. I don't know. I don't know the back end, guys. Someone says, no cap, this would have been sold out by now. Yeah, that would have been sold out by now. And I mean, is Craig the best role model for everybody? I don't know. I don't hate the guy. I don't hate him or anything. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you guys respond better to people like Craig Jones and Gordon Ryan, so that's if they could have been famous and popular and made a lot of money without having to take on these personas. Basically, I think they would have done that. Back in the day when they were just winning, people didn't really care. But when they started doing more crazy, saying crazier things, doing crazier things, that's when they blew up, right? So it's kind of on the community. So that can be toxic as well. The community kind of feeds into it. And we see this on Reddit. Reddit can be very toxic as well. We talked about Mikey Musumeci, and they kind of ran Mikey off of Reddit. Mikey's the nicest guy. Outside of that time he had that breakdown. He crashed out on one championship that one time. But otherwise he's a great guy. And then they kind of forced Mikey off the platform. So, Reddit's not always the best place either. I try to hold them accountable. If I see some BS on Reddit, I call them out. All right, so shout out to Hyperfly for doing a good job. I really respect them for listening to their brand, their clientele, the people, and just look at their. They didn't need that Playboy collab, did they? Look, they got great athletes out here. They got Adele, they got A-Rod, they got a lot of strong females out there. They didn't need to do that. They could have done anything else, man. They could have partnered with Girls and Geese. I don't know if they have a partnership, but wouldn't that have been a better partnership to me? Girls and Geese and Hyperfly, that would have been awesome, bro. We all would have been supporting that. We all would have been supporting that. Look at that, man. That's just, someone, I think someone on one of my posts was like, you don't see that in any other sport. Where was Playboy in other sports? Were they in women's basketball, volleyball, soccer, tennis, wrestling, judo? We haven't seen any collaborations with those sports, but they wanted to, collab with us. It's hard enough to get the girls into jiu-jitsu and wrestling and, wanting to feel comfortable. And I just, I get it. They said Playboy's trying to change. Sometimes you gotta leave the past and you gotta let the past go. You gotta let that past go, guys.